Now, the rest of the story.
Hey guys. Come on. Well, good way to get your Monday going is go out and check the bulls and checking all the cows in general at the home farm. We went to the bull sale yesterday, and I'm probably in the most dangerous lot on any of the farms right now because this is our current bull allotment between all three of us. And well, we got Ryans right here. Actually, 1, 2, 3, all three of these are Ryans, and still got Rocky in the back here. See, I'm not afraid of them, but you just got to respect them. Rocky's still here. The two calves I was going to keep back and use for breeding purposes are now going to be treated as feeder calves and sent down the road, because ultimately these are Ryans. So I have you guys get out the way. I mean, they're pretty mellow. Oh, that is a heifer that Ryan bought, actually. Here, dude. This is the last one Ryan brought home. But if you guys can't tell, the two red ones, that one and that one, he's being shy even though he was kind of curious about me earlier. But I actually brought home the two bulls that I really wanted. Looking at the brochure, I had a bunch picked out because, you know, when you go to an auction, you don't just, depending on what your budget is, you don't just have one in mind, and especially when you need a bull and that's the only one you're really interested in, because it could go for thousands and thousands of dollars, or at least more than what you're looking for. And ultimately I went to the sale. These are the two, the red ones in particular, are the ones that if money was not an object, these are the ones I would have picked. That, okay, I want to take these home. And fortunately enough, I was able to pick them up for a pretty fair price, so I'm really happy. And Dad was with me. He ended up buying the one black bull on the sale, and he's actually really happy too. And I guess you got to say that worked out really well when Dad really wasn't explicitly going to buy a bull, but from looking at his numbers and everything, birth weight is really big because of the amount of heifers that we have, and easy calving is, for the three that we brought home, is a trait that all of them have and what we were looking for. So I'm pretty well set for the year as far as cattle go. Really didn't have to walk through the bullpen because the general rule of thumb is we don't want anybody in here. But we don't like buying, we can't buy anybody that is really mean or outright just gonna chase you. Never really did that before, but it's really important even now we have young kids running around. I mean, my nephew is just turned 5, and plus with Relina and my own kids, I worry about them wanting to come out and look at the cows and climbing in the pens, because if they're anything like their father, I used to do the same thing when I was younger. So just out here checking for calves, essentially. There's my buddy Ryan. Well, the fields are actually dry enough that we're kicking up dust. That's not what this video is about. So Dad told me a joke the other day, and I thought it was worth sharing. So a neighbor knocked on his farmer neighbor's door. Little Johnny answered. The neighbor said, "I need to talk to your dad about your brother Harold getting my daughter pregnant." Little Johnny thought for a second and said, "Well, Dad charges $25 for the bull, $15 for the boar. I don't know what he'd charge for Harold. I thought it was cute. So speaking of the bulls, we got 2 red bulls back at the buildings that don't have any names. Yeah, I know. We got Rocky, but I don't know what to name the other 2. I mean, I guess if we want to name Dad's bull, we can. But specifically, we need to figure out what we want to call the other 2. So leave your comments down below as to what you think would be appropriate for them. I mean, they're 2 nice-looking yearling bulls, and hopefully we'll have them around for, I'd say, for a couple of years yet. We'll see how they perform. So comments down below. All right, they're calling for rain this afternoon. Not even so much rain, they're just calling for severe weather. That severe weather being chances of large hail, wind, tornadoes. They're not really saying much for rain, so at least they're not really putting a whole lot of amounts with it. But I'm out here in the lot. We got everybody in out of the pasture last night because of the potential strong weather that's coming. And we were hauling manure down to my place yesterday. If you guys saw my live stream, I know that. Well, from the road looking up across the pasture, I was able to notice that 2 of my cows were out by themselves, minding their own business, and ultimately had 2 calves in the same day yesterday. I absolutely love them. There's Mom voicing her opinions about me. I was expecting her to calve at any time. This is her calf, little red heifer. I mean, looks like somebody may have she may have gotten too close to the udder end of the cow. I'd call them suitcase calves. Essentially, they're calving ease for especially first calf heifers. Having the smaller calving ease calves, you know, 40, 50, 60 pound calves. The reason that you breed cows, heifers, first calf cows, to a calving ease bull, which is what all of those bulls we brought home the other day are. It's to help with the labor process of the cow not having to have her calf pulled. She did a really good job of hiding this guy back in around the corner where, yeah. See, this is why I don't like having the dogs in the lot with me, because I've had calves do that. The calves will run up underneath you, and if you get the wrong cow, the cow will actually come after you because she thinks you're after her calf, which I'm going to be here. I don't have my tagger. It's in my truck. My truck isn't here. To make matters worse, I don't have any tags. I ordered tags a month ago, and it's gonna be 2 more months yet, according to the shipping information. So what I'm gonna do, because I want to keep my records as up to date as absolutely possible, because I'm starting to get a lot more serious about this whole cattle grower rancher thing. I really just want to keep good records of all my cows so I can manage them properly. I got a bunch of tags that are my dad's, and what I'm going to do is, for my heifers, they are tagged with blue tags. I'm going to still tag them with, I think they're green, it might be orange, tags of my dad, so I can at least write down this calf belongs to this cow and she was born on this date, and I can get it into my computer. Well, the bulls don't really matter. They do. It's just that I have tags for them. And I'm also going to go through and ban the bulls. I don't do a whole lot of vaccinating and everything with my calves when they hit the ground. I know there's plenty of people that are online that, well, my buddy, he's not online, but he does a lot too. The second they hit the ground, you got to iodine them, and I think it's a tetanus shot, and you tag them and you band them. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. It's just, for me, I've had better luck tagging them, letting them stick with the cow, run them through the chute later on here when we wean them, or even a little bit before or after that, and do everything you need to do to them then. It might set them back, but getting the cow and the calves all riled up and then running yourself crazy trying to catch them all necessarily isn't always feasible for us. I mean, Dad and Ryan, they calve in May, should be calving in May, and they're out on pasture on grass, so it makes it a lot more difficult with some of the pastures that we have to be able to keep a proper eye on everybody, because it's really easy for a mama cow to drop a calf and hide him, and you don't find that calf for a month. Usually when it's you're driving through with the four-wheeler late at night without any of your supplies, not really looking for a calf, just making sure everybody's happy, and then you'll stumble across that said cow and her calf at her side. So the good news is I've started calving. It's not necessarily bad news either, because they're also 15 to 20 days later than when they really could have started, which is fine because of the weather we had. It was cold weather. With it being 60 out right now, it really isn't taking a whole lot to get them up and going. They're dry when we found them. Their umbilicals are already drying out. All of these blue tagged heifers, these are the bred cows that I brought home. They are really pretty cattle. I like them. I like watching them. The goal is when we dump the bulls in with them in June, we're gonna have those 2 red yearling bulls that I bought and that 1 black one. That 1 black bull, he can throw 50% of the time a black calf or a red calf. Generally, if it's bred to a red cow, you got a 50-50 shot of red or black. I don't have any experience with bulls of that particular, well, with that particular aspect on them, where they're the 50-50 red Angus or black Angus, but I'm assuming, correct me anybody that knows the actual fact, but if I breed them to any of the black cows that are in here, I'm assuming that it'll almost be closer to 100% black calves dropped out of the black cows and the black bull. Correct me if I'm wrong. I get these 4 heifers in here that are my dad's out of here. I'm still gonna have some black cows in my herd, but going forward here, just when it goes to the managing aspect of it, all black bulls, steers, heifers will be marked to sell, because I now have enough red cattle on the farm. I can at least properly keep back my red heifers and start culling out some of these older cows and really get everything rolling properly. I'm sitting at just over 50 head, not including the bulls, but I'm sitting about 50 head of cows and heifers, and really is going to speed up the whole herd aspect of everything. Gravity wagon back behind the 76. Need to pull some grain out for my dad's steers. They're actually doing really well. We got them on that steer stuffer. Definitely filling out. Not going through a whole lot of grain. Seems how we didn't exactly mix a full load for them. But we get, well, a full mix should go at least a week. And they hit, well, no, when did we do that? Over a week. I think it's been over a week now with what we did put in there, so looks like they're at least getting it figured out. It's kind of like valet service. You get the wagon underneath the bin and Ryan loads it for me. We don't need much, probably just half a wagon. I'm gonna end out this week's video pretty much just like this. We ended up at 2 calves so far. Overall, these are moms right here, 461 and 443. Been trying to keep the bedding down in front of them the best I can. We had all that severe weather go through last night. We really didn't get, we got a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. I'd say we probably got close to an inch in the matter of 10 minutes. Really wreaked havoc on the driveways, but other than that, it looks like we're sitting all right. I mean, 24 hours later and the fields are dry, are starting to show signs of drying out already. And first calf heifers, I am keeping an eye on that one. This is a bull, that's a heifer. And she seems like she's a little bit slow to get up. I did give her a little bit of medication and more or less just keeping an eye on her if she's going to make it through the night. That's just the way it is with raising cattle, I guess. As far as I can tell, everybody's been eating good. She was fine before the severe weather last night, and she was laying in the mud when I come out and checked them this morning. I'm worried that may have gotten to her, but I did get about a half a bottle down or two, so hope for the best. Overall, everybody's happy. Trying to keep the lot bedded heavily for everybody. I'm gonna let them back out in the pasture now that this weather is no longer a concern. My thing is, when part of these are new to us cattle, I just didn't want part of them down in the pasture, then have that thunder and lightning roll through and have them spook for whatever reason, and they just head west. So with the pasture drying up like it is, I'll probably open the gate up in the morning and let them go lay out on the grass. It'll actually save on the bedding a little bit. Calvin doesn't like the cows checking him out. But this is, again, this is actually a scrub third crop bale from the valley that heated. I let the cows go through. They ate what they could off the feeder. And when I fed them earlier, I just pulled this one out and shredded it. Let them lay on it, get some manure on it, and I'll let it compost and spread it back out in the field. That's me just trying to get 100% usage out of everything that we're producing as far as the hay and waterways and everything else. Seems like there's always one, doesn't it? I've had more trouble with this group of calves, this group of cattle, and in my life, where the young stock are climbing into the bale feeder. It's not the end of the world, because they don't typically climb in until the bale is pretty well down to the bottom of the feeder, and they'll have that gone by morning. So I really don't have a whole lot as far as waste, but I'll be out first thing in the morning to check them. It's a big plus to having them right here at the home farm, so I don't have to go looking for them. But they are, oh, they're both laying in there. So, well, that's it for this week's video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more spring work videos on the farm. Bye.